Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fanshawe College Virtual Open House. My name is Jay Park, and I'm working in International Center of Fanshawe College. I will be the host for today's season. Before we begin today's season, I would like to review a few housekeeping items. Audience, please turn off your webcams and mic. If you have any questions throughout the season, please submit it with the question box. Open the question box and click on the question mark. Following the season, we will have a live Q&A from the question submit. We will try our best to get through all of your submitted questions within the today's season time. If you have any question after the season, we recommend you email international@fanshawe.ca or book an appointment with one of our recruitment team. If you have multiple programs open and running, it may compromise your webinar experience. We recommend you take a moment now to close any open programs before we begin today's season. I would like to introduce today's speaker, Justin, who will be speaking about our interactive media design at Fanshawe College. I will be back again for the live Q&A, and I'm going to now pass it over to Justin.
Hey, thanks for the introduction, guys. My name is Justin Bruno. I'm the coordinator of the Interactive Media Design program here at Fanshawe College, and also I am the coordinator of the visualization program at Fanshawe. So I'll explain the difference between the two programs and how they work together as we go through this presentation. And again, guys, if you have questions, put them in the chat and we'll do our best to answer them or get back to you afterwards with that. Okay, so for the interactive program, the visualization program here at Fanshawe College, we ask all of our students to make some room. There's a lot of information out there in regards to developing websites, web applications, doing design, doing video work. We cover a lot of things. And the path you're about to embark on with us, there is a lot, right? So we ask you guys to make some room, a lot of room in your heads. And we're going to show you a lot of things and get you going on a lot of these things and working with a lot of new technologies, but giving you guys a base understanding and also showing you guys way to accelerate your learning process, as a lot of the stuff that we deal with lives and dies in about 6 weeks. So you have to keep an open mind with this stuff. You may learn something one day and then get rid of it the next. But you have to be open to that. And it's a great industry to be in because you're always learning and you're always doing new things. So how does IDP and Viz work? Well, we have a common first year. So when students come into the program, they're either taking the interactive stream or they're taking the visualization stream. But these students are then put together in a common first year. So you're mixed with both interactive students and visualization students, and you're shown both programs in the first year. So you're going to be dealing with interactive projects, you're going to be dealing with visualization projects. And then after your first year is up, you can choose to stay in your stream, or if you're interested, you can opt to then transfer streams. So depending on what you like. So there is a point that you can stay where you are, or you can change and move to the other program. Now, the visualization differs in time because it is a 3-year program, where the interactive course is a 2-year program. So first I'll talk a bit about the interactive course, and if time permits, I'll hopefully get into a bit of the visualization course. So with the interactive design, media design course, we are a hybrid program. We are 50% design, so 50% of the courses that you guys are going to have with us are design related. So I'll get a bit about the technologies and software that we use in a little bit, but know that you're going to learn design and you're also going to learn development. So you're going to see both sides. And this is really, really important. And this was a big push that came to us from our industry partners. You know, 10 years ago, even 7 years ago, a lot of companies created silos. They had their designers that only worked with the designers. They had their developers that only worked with developers, but they never really learned to communicate or understand what each one of the disciplines did. And that caused a lot of projects to slow down. Designers would build things that didn't work for development, and development didn't understand how to explain that to designers. And then two, developers would build things that doesn't work from a design perspective. So you're going to learn both sides. And what this is going to help you with is, one, you're going to find a stream that you really like inside of our program, whether it be design or development, that you're going to excel at. But you're also going to understand the other side. And that's going to make it crucial for you, well, more so for companies, to have you working there because you understand that pipeline and that workflow going through. Okay, so some of the software we cover in our program in some of the languages, and there's many, many more, and they're constantly evolving and constantly changing. The top line we work with a lot for our development is web browsers. You know, you're looking at this going, well, yeah, I know how to use a web browser. Most of you guys are probably only using about 10% of what your web browser can actually do. We're going to show you that other 90%, how we use it to actually explore websites, understand what's going on, but then also how we can use those tools inside of these browsers to then help us work with the sites that we're developing and understanding how those browsers translate that information onto the screen. The second line, we use a lot of the Adobe Cloud software. You're going to work a lot with Photoshop and Illustrator and After Effects and InDesign. We also work with Premiere. And a lot of what at XD also is really coming up for us. The 3D platform that we work with to go along to augment what we're doing with video is Cinema 4D by Maxon. And then languages that we work with HTML, we work with CSS, we work with JavaScript, we work with Sass. Those are primarily front-end, JSON, Ajax. We work with Vue.js. So we work with a lot of stuff, GitHub and things like that on the code side. And then that's more front-end technology. Back-end technologies, we work with PHP and MySQL, and work with a bit of server stuff as well to inject that dynamic content into whatever it is that we're building. So this goes back to the slides previous, guys. You guys learn both design and development, and you're going to cover a lot of the stuff that you see in front of you here. So that's why we asked you guys to make a lot of room, because there's a lot of stuff to cover over the next 2 years with us, and then 3 years into visualization. So our policies throughout our program, I've listed kind of the top ones here for us. Late assignments, we don't want people to be late. You know, reasons come up that you are late with assignments, just communicate with your instructors. But if there isn't a reason, if you just forgot to do your assignment or forgot to hand it in, it's a 0. We need to get this ingrained in you quick. When you go out there and you start working, you could work for a company that has a $100 million account, has a $5 million, $5 million account. You know, you're not late. Being late and losing a client of that size can be a make or break point for companies. So we teach you very quickly, don't be late. Be 3 days ahead of time. Ask your instructors, get in front of your instructors, you know, get that feedback early on, and be early when you're submitting stuff. Attendance is key. Each one of our classes is about 3 hours long, and we cover a lot of content. If you're ill and you can't make it to class, once we are, of course, back in the classroom, most sections or most classes run twice a week. So you can talk with the instructor to see if you can make up during another class. Check with classmates, check with your instructor. Definitely get caught up on that content. Professional practice is a huge thing for us. How you communicate with your instructors and how you communicate with colleagues and other students and people that you're working with is a big thing, right? So we want to ingrain that early, because you're going to go into a communications field. You need to communicate with people that you work with, people that you report to, whoever that is. And then after a bit of time, of moving up in the ranks, you're going to be dealing with clients and accounts. So you need to do it in a professional manner. When we're, again, back in the classroom, we teach in a cross-platform learning environment. So you're going to learn on both an iOS system and a Windows-based system as well. And everything that we do crosses over from one to the other. So a lot of the technologies we use, a lot of the software that we use works on both platforms. So if you're looking to get a system, it doesn't matter if it's a Mac or if it's a Windows-based system. You know, whatever your budget can afford you, go, you know, your best bang for your buck. And in terms of our class load, I like to use the term rented mules. Each term is going to get harder and harder and harder, and it's going to require more of your time each term. First term, it's a little lighter. Second term, it gets heavy. By third term, you're looking at 40 hours a week outside of the classroom of doing, you know, your project work, any sort of research that you need to do, and enhancing the skills that you have, right? There's going to be a lot of work to do in our program. So what makes us different at Fanshawe from all the other colleges and universities that offer programs like this? To us, it's experience-based learning, okay? What does that mean, right? Anybody can say, oh, well, you have an experience by doing projects. We take it up to the next level. So our projects, and a lot of our projects, are client-based projects within our curriculum, so they're embedded right into our curriculum. A lot of these are our final integrated projects that are individual based or even team based, so you get that team feel of what it's like to work in a pipeline and see a project from the beginning to end. We have industry tours every year once we are, it's safe and we are all back in person. We have our industry partners, they graciously open their doors to us and allow student groups to go through and tour their agencies, talk with grads from our program, talk with owners, talk with hiring managers, and see the work that they're doing. We have speakers come in and talk to our classes about different disciplines and different trends and things that are happening. We have internships in the final term where you have a requirement of 125 hours of real world work that you need to complete in that time. And we also post freelance postings that we vetted that have come to us from either industry partners or they come from small businesses or companies that are looking to give students experience in building something out, whatever that is. So a couple of the projects that we've worked on, and I've got to hurry along here. We've worked very closely with the late Pat Stapleton for the Team Canada 1972 website and helping them do their rebranding. This was a team-based assignment, and they picked two teams and combined what these two teams came up with, their strategy for the website and the physical builds themselves. We worked with another company in London here called Officialize, and they have on record 25 of the top 50 NFL players, and we worked with 5 of them to create social content and a single page kind of history website for each one of these players. For 4 years, we worked very close with Lashbrook PR and working with Trillium Gift of Life for organ donation, which was a phenomenal project. And it was reshaping and having people rethink what organ donation is and the stigmas based around that. We've also worked very closely with the LEDC, the London Economic Development Corporation, in how we keep students in our city, but also how we attract talent to the City of London and also attract tech companies to the City of London. So they've done a very, very great job working closely with the city, and the tech industry here in London is really, really booming right now. So that was a quick bit about, and is it okay if I take about 5 more minutes to quickly go through visualization?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we still have time, so go ahead.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So data viz, how that differs from the interactive side of things. We're interactive. We're solving problems. We're helping companies get products out there, services, or information. Data viz is kind of a subset of that bigger picture. And in data viz, we're dealing with taking large scale data and telling a story with it in a usable fashion. Right. The example I have here on the left for you guys, these dots. So this is a small section of the map of New York. And a group of people got together, and they always like to go out on weekends and try new places, try restaurants. And what they did is, you could go through what we call the yellow pages or a business directory and kind of find what's out there. What they did is they went out and sourced a free library that had every listing of every restaurant in the city of New York. They overlaid it on a map visually with circles, and you can't see the entire site, but the colored dots represent different types of restaurants. So they could be, like a burger restaurant. They could be a Chinese restaurant, an Indian restaurant, whatever type of restaurant that is. And the size of the circle represents the seating for that restaurant and how many people it can hold. And as you click on each one of these dots, it would give you the information, the average price of a meal, the seating, the hours, the phone number, various ratings and things like that. So data visualization is really about taking large scale data, connecting those dots and telling a story with it. And that story could be to show something or to help people understand a problem that's out there. So another quick example that we did, and I'll just take a couple minutes to explain this one for anybody that's into sports, is we found a website, a fan website for Major League Baseball here in North America. And this particular website took every pitch. They counted every pitch of every pitcher thrown in 2018 or 2019. I can't remember when we did this. So they tracked everything. They tracked, fastballs, curveballs, even pitches that weren't pitches. They had a special category for them. So what we wanted to do with this was to tell the story of the fastball in Major League Baseball and do it in a very visual way. So to get to what it looked like, and the solution for it was, nobody wants to go through a spreadsheet and they want to read about 800 pitchers. They want something visual. So we started to bounce around ideas about what baseball is, what the fastball was, and how that information relays around the diamond. And what we found, and myself being a back catcher playing that position for 18 years, was I knew how that information was thrown around. A pitch comes from the bench out to the catcher. The catcher's watched film on the batter. They understand who the batter is. They relay multiple calls to the pitcher. The pitcher thinks about the batter and the catcher and everything that's going on, and then picks a call, throws the ball. The ball then hopefully is received by the catcher. So that's how we've seen that relay of information going through. And then we took a subset of all of that data and started to run calculations. So we discovered that in 2018, there was 2,640,000 pitches thrown in MLB. 57% of those were fastballs with an average speed of 91 miles an hour. The ERA, earned run average in MLB, was 4.14, and pitchers struck out 2,747 batters with a fastball. So we took all of that data and then comprised it in a graphic to quickly tell a story about the fastball. So these are kind of some of the things that you'll see in visualization versus what you would see in IDP. In the interactive stream, you're going to be building websites and web applications, doing a bit of print work. And in visualization, as you move on to second and third year, your focus is really on looking at data sources and telling stories with those, but you're going to use a lot of the same technology that you would have seen in the interactive program, but it's in more of a streamlined way. Okay, so one of the other things that we do have is our Women in Tech Scholarship. I can get into that information if anybody has questions about that later on, just because I see that we're running short on time here. One of the important slides that I did want to get to was this one here. We have grads globally, all over the place. We have people at Disney, we have people at Cineplex, Universal Music Group, we have people at Apple, we have people at EA Sports. In London here, we have various agencies that we man 65 to 85% of their office is grads that come out of our program. So great slide. I mean, this is what you guys learn with us goes out globally, right? It goes past boundaries. It goes past borders. You don't have to worry about that. If you want to work in London, great. If you want to go and work in the UK, great, you can. We've had people that do lots and lots of things and transfer all over the world. So I'll leave you guys here with a bit of information. Here's my email address. If you have anything course related or want to know more or hear more about it, send me an email to this address and I'll do my best to get back to you. And even if I can't find the answer for you or know the answer, I will find somebody that can get you guys the answer. I want to thank you guys for your time, and we'll open it up to questions.
Thanks, Justin. It was a great presentation, and I believe all of international students now understand what is the difference between 3-year diploma and 3-year advanced diploma program. And now we have some questions. So I think the first question, the student is asking about the part-time job opportunity in London and also on and off campus. Do you think student will have a chance to have a part-time job opportunity in London and also especially at Fanshawe College?
Yeah, there are students do have part-time. We've had students that had worked full-time jobs, but given international, I believe it's 20 hours a week maximum, I believe.
Right.
But
Exactly.
yeah, we have students that work for Fanshawe College for some of the student programs that that are run and the opportunities there. But then there's also outside work as well, and then there's also freelance work once you're at a place where you're comfortable doing that stuff. And I mean, that's globally. You can do that anywhere in the world.
Well, thanks so much. And to add some information, all of the international students, if you have a study permit and if you are a full-time student, yes, you can work 20 hours per week during academic season, and you can work 40 hours per week during vacation. And next question. A student is asking, do they need specific software or programs or license to study those two programs?
We do. Once we are back in the classroom, there are systems available for you, and that software is available. Being online, all of that software is being offered by the college right now. So the Adobe suite is being offered. Cinema 4D, this was even prior to what has happened with COVID. Cinema 4D, Maxon offers all of our students a 16-month license. We highly recommend, though, given that it's 16 months, that you don't get it until your second term when you start to use the software. So to the question, it is available at the college, but if you do have it at home, hey, even better, because that gives you more time, later hours to be up doing your work.
All right, sounds good. And does the student have to buy a specific laptop, like an MS or Mac?
No, whatever your budget can afford you. Right, a lot of the software that we use is cross-platform, so you don't have to worry about a specific build of a system. My recommendation, though, is if you're going to get a laptop, get something that's equivalent to a mid to higher end gaming laptop, not to play games on, but you just need that power to do a lot of the stuff that we do, because we are running, 5 or 6 programs at the same time, and it's really RAM intensive and virtual RAM intensive, and bigger the hard drive, the better.
Well, I think student must have a good laptop during studying their program. And also the one student asked, I know the answer, but student asked, can student transfer to VIS 1 program after they finish IDP 3 program?
Yeah, after you finish IDP, if you want to go and then take Viz, yes, you can.
All right, sounds good. And after they finish the IDP 3 and VIS 1 program, what kind of job they can expect?
So out of the interactive program, right now, I mean, we still have people getting hired, and there's people desperately needed at a lot of different agencies. Out of the interactive course, you're going to see jobs like front-end web developer, back-end web developer, motion artist, graphics/web designer. We've had people become project managers. And then in terms of Viz, we haven't graduated our first class yet. But in terms of work that's out there, newspapers are a huge, huge source of data visualization, and they are hiring up people that show interest in visualization. National Geographic probably still has one of the biggest data visualization teams out there. So there's lots and lots of opportunity. Huge companies are really seeing the benefit for having people that can take their large-scale data, break it down, and put it in a consumable format for salespeople and managers to understand what's going on. So there's plenty of job opportunities. I mean, 2 years ago, we had people that did, and there's my son. We had people, sorry, I just lost my, yep, thanks. We have people getting his homework.
Exactly.
So they really see the need for, logistical data and things like that. So there's lots of stuff out there in terms of developers. There was 240,000 developer positions available last year just in North America alone.
Sounds good. And next question, do we require portfolio?
Oh, sorry?
Do we require portfolio?
A portfolio? No, not for access into our program. You will be building one and have one by the end of level 3 that will be live on the internet.
Sounds good. And also one of the students, I believe most students don't have any education background or work experience. I believe this student doesn't have it. So how hard this course is for a person who doesn't know anything about coding?
It depends on the amount of time that you want to put in. We teach from the ground up. Everybody starts at the same place. And the other thing we do for students, so if somebody comes in with a coding background or a design background, we can manipulate our projects to push them further and harder. But yeah, we start everybody from the ground up. So don't worry if you've never touched HTML before or any of the coding stuff, because we teach everybody from, the first floor right all the way up to the top.
I think that was a really great answer. We are ready to teach you. So don't wait, just apply. And sorry, it will be the last question. And what is the average salary right after they finish their program?
Oh, sorry, could you repeat that? The first part kind of cut out there a bit.
Sorry, what is the average salary after they finish their program?
Okay, that's kind of a loaded question. It differs from agency to agency. So if it's a smaller scale, a startup, you could see anywhere from 30 to 35,000 per year, and that's kind of local to us here in Ontario. And I've seen larger companies where students were getting 55,000 a year to start. So the range does vary, anywhere from the mid 30s right up to the 50s and 60s, depending on the size of the company, and then too, depending on how good you are.
All right, I think we are going to finish the season, but I would like to explain to you. Actually, September 2020, a lot of students couldn't get study permit approval, that they couldn't start their program. So most international students already deferred to 2021 intake. So it means we don't have a lot of seats available. So if you wanted to study one of those 2 programs, I really recommend you to apply as soon as possible and apply your study permit, because it's also taking a long time to process your study permit. So please apply as soon as possible. So thank you to all students who submit the question today. We hope that we answered all of your questions regarding the interactive media design and 3D visualization. If you think of any more questions, feel free to contact International Center and also our country recruiters. So we have an email address in international@fanshawe.ca. And also if you visit www.fanshawecollege.as.ca, and you can make an appointment with our country recruiters. So thank you, Justin, and for taking your time today for international student. And I hope we will have many students for your program. Thank you so much.
Have a great day.